my thunder there.
I'm sorry.
The holiday seasons are so special, in part, because we get to spend a lot of time at home with family. Being that I'm staying in California this year, lately, I've been getting a bit nostalgic. And I've been doing quite a lot of reminiscing. That's because home to me is New York, rather New York City. And so I would like to share some memories that the city evokes for me with you all. You okay there, Dr. Olson? When I think New York City, I think yellow taxi cabs that screech and honk. I think steam that seeps above the pavement from splintered underground pipes. And I think of a collage of ethnicities so colorful, as if to make the city seem like it's some living, vibrant, expressionist painting. I'm not a big fan of Times Square, but I do love the New York skyline. There's nothing better than walking across the Williamsburg Bridge on a breezy summer night and marveling at all of those city lights. It's humbling to me. It fills me with pride and awe to see what we've been able to construct so far. I spent a good portion of my childhood on the ball fields underneath that bridge. I remember playing baseball with my old man until the sun came down. And then it was just us and the river gliding in the backdrop and me smelling like school board chalk because I've been sliding around in the dirt all day. And I'm munching on a hot dog, sipping on a soda. And man, let me tell you, life don't get much better than that. Speaking of baseball, no self-respecting New Yorker has not skipped school to go to Yankee Stadium for an afternoon ball game. At least for me, it's Yankee Stadium. You get there early in the morning with a group of friends, you stick your chest out too far, you talk too loud about stories that are only half true. You wait until 11, because that's when they start selling the bleacher tickets. You fork out your $8, you get in, and it smells like 80 years worth of stale beer in there, and your feet stick to the ground, you wince. Then you see that light at the end of the tunnel, and you walk out of the foyer, and you're out there, and you see that beautiful, checkered, emerald green manicured lawn, and the sun's bouncing off it. And you just stay quiet, realizing that you're somewhere special. You hush up and you soak it all in. And then the moment of beauty wears off, and it's just you and the other bleacher creatures. And finally the game starts, and you're all screaming obscenities at the top of your lungs, trying to see who can get the opposing team's right fielder to turn around and acknowledge your bad manners. Pretty bad things. I spent a good chunk of my teenage years parked on a park bench at Tompkins Square Park. I would spend my weekends sitting on benches whose green paint had long peeled. And I would sneak some cigarettes in, sneak a few beers in, trying to look older than I was. My conversation with my friends was always accompanied by the incessant whizzing noise of handballs as they cut through the air and popped against the concrete. Back home, around this time of year, when the first real snow of the winter came down, I throw on layers of sweats and windbreakers and run to the park and play tackle football with my neighborhood friends. Wait, let's talk about food. I know you guys have the tri-tip out here, but I grew up in the Lower East Side, and one of the things I really miss about my neighborhood are the cheap, delicious eats. I miss Yona Schimmel knishes. For $3, you'd get a steaming knish the size of your head. Sweet potato knishes, spinach knishes, cheese knishes, you name it, they had it. I miss walking down Rivington Street in the morning and bumping into the old Chinese lady who didn't speak a lick of English, but like clockwork, she was out there in the morning selling steaming bowls of hot tofu mixed with maple syrup for $1. And I miss the 24-hour Ukrainian deli off 8th Street. They served up the most luscious bowl of neon red borscht topped with sour cream and a side of that spongy egg bread. Total cost $2.50. Back home around this time of year, when the first real snow of the winter came down, I'd throw on layers of sweats and windbreakers and run to the park to play tackle football with my friends. On those days, we were the real New York Giants. We'd play well into the night, struggling to see the football. It was lost in the flurry of the snowflakes and the dim glare of the streetlights. And to passers-by, we were like silhouettes, ghosts, made real only by our shouts and the thump of our bodies banging into one another. And then when I finally got home, my fingers were frozen like popsicles. I teased my mother and pushed them against her neck, and she'd yelp and feign anger, and she'd tell me to sit down and take off my boots. And she'd bring me a hot plate of pasta that she'd already prepared for me and tell me to eat up. So maybe that's what I missed the most about home. Have a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. See you all next year. Thank you.